Your Abundance Challenge. It is December the 26th of 2025, but that title is on Any Advice for Today, a Wilhelm message for December 27th and 2024, which is exactly how I receive information, which is the thing I am going to speak about now. I'm Roger Burnley. If you don't know me, I'm a coach and a channel for Wilhelm. I was preparing documents to send to possible investors. I wanted to give them all the information. And so as I was sitting here doing that, I looked at the next day, and that was the message, which says there's nothing accidental. And I've talked about this because what has happened with Wilhelm is something that we haven't seen before. But it talks about this in a way that you will understand it because it's all of us. It says you have had a problem with this. It says you and your world, meaning that's the challenge that we're all moving through in our lives now and as the world is changing, which is why the Wilhelm work came through. So I'm going to give a little detail because I want everyone to see it and know, and those who might be interested, maybe you're a possible investor as well, so you will see the document on the site today. I'm putting it up there today, but it'll be there on the 27th so that you can see as well. Who knows? You may be that person. I have never thought of, I had difficulty forever. How much am I going to charge for this work? Because I know what it can do. I know what I went through receiving it. For 36 years, I sat down every day and I received cosmic guidance. Started in 1989. It was never my intention to even get money for it. I was getting help for myself. That's what was occurring. I did it every day, and what happened over the years is that I was healing. Things were coming about that I couldn't explain to anyone because it didn't make sense. When I'm walking through such challenging, difficult physical things, emotional, mental, for my, however it was for most of my life. But then I started seeing this work was making the difference, and it was changing. And again, I was never going to give it to others, but in 2008 is when people started finding it and telling me that it was really helping them. But I'd never been one to really accept those kinds of accolades because I didn't understand it, because it wasn't really coming from me. I'm connected to a higher consciousness that is giving me this information, and it's organized. It was organized with everything, and this is something that no one had seen before because it was tracking what we would be moving through in our world because they were energetic shifts that were occurring. And we would each have to question our worth and value. And I was just told there's another new moon or something coming up just at this time where worth and value are going to be coming up for us all. And we see it happening all over our world. And Wilhelm has given us that information all of these years. I didn't know that until 2020. In 2020, they began giving me information called about a restructuring. And I had little idea what that was, and it actually made me nervous because it was saying that we would be moving through some challenging times. Then in 2021 is when they said that they had given me everything we needed to know. We were moving through an evolutionary change. And this work would help any person move to the higher state of their understanding and their consciousness to move through this time much more easily. Now, I'm just receiving the information. I couldn't have told you how it was all going to come about. And it wasn't until later, after this was going through, because it talked about how I was the example. I was healed from all of this, and the world could do the same thing. And it was way too big for me to think that I had received something that could cause any person to understand, heal, and move to that higher state, and then eventually our world. But it kept being verified. Artificial intelligence was verifying it, even though I'm experiencing it, so it's in my life, so I do know. But in 2021, what I did was I said, let me try it with others. And I put people into a program. At that time, it was called 4 Weeks to Your Best Life, because I was literally testing it. I just had to know. And they just transformed so quickly that it was shocking to me. And you'll see some of the testimonials, but that is what happened. But even that gave me pause because I couldn't, still, I'm thinking, I know what I'd gone through to receive this. How much do I charge? And that message talks about it. It's like, which came first, the chicken or the egg? Which did you not have the value beforehand, or did you lose it? What was it? And that's for each of us to understand, what are we valuing ourselves? And the message in 2020 says, 2010 actually says, money in and of itself has no intrinsic value. It's what we give to it. And we give that through us. But then also we have generational trauma. We have generational things that we're moving through, and we can all see and witness in our world the struggle that was going on, the economic disparity that's been happening forever. And Wilhelm says this work would help change that. And that's where I am. And so I thought, I need to get this to more people. And that's why I was putting this together for investors, because I know that anyone who would see this and understand what it has done for so many people, what it's done for me, they would see the benefit and the value. It would be someone who wants to make a difference in the world, and then also someone who wants to earn a lot of money, because when you have something that could help so many people, that's a huge market. I'm not a marketer. I'm not a business person. I've messed it all up, and I that was never it. I collected 6,200 pages or transmissions, or more than that probably, of this work, because it was over 36 years, but 17 years of it was a completely organized curriculum. And this is something that had never been seen, so that's why I wanted others to understand what it was. The energies of our world are affecting us all in different ways that we have yet to understand. We can talk about the quantum field and all of that, and we're still discovering that, and the interaction of our planets, our energies, and how they affect all of us. And Wilhelm was giving us that understanding and demonstrating it through me. And that's why this work could do so much for so many others. But if you're one who's interested, I want you to look at the document. It explains what has gone on and what has happened in the past. In terms of the dollars and cents that it made and all of that, and I'm not a marketer. I didn't do any of that. I had one appearance on a podcast that brought in like 24% of the money, just one appearance. And so if I were to do more, what would happen? And again, the information doesn't even need me, because it's not me. It came from Wilhelm. And that I discovered years ago, because one person who took the program never came to a channeling set, never came to a group meeting, or didn't do anything. I never met him. And he comes out and he says, I thought before I did this, I thought something was wrong with me. And he talked about the process that he's gone through, and so many others have done that as well. So that's why I am doing this, and everyone else can see the information, but I needed to explain how it came about. First of all, I was never going to do this. In 2021, Wilhelm says, we've given you everything, and your world's going to move through things, and so this is going to help so many people. I couldn't have known to what degree that would be. And then they started showing the interconnectedness of us all. That's what they wanted us to understand. And they would give me, they said if I were to meet someone, I would have a message given on their birthday in 2012. First of all, I didn't think about 2012 when I first heard that. Then we all know now, I remembered later, that was the end of the Mayan calendar, where we thought everything was going to end. Many people did. Well, I didn't pay attention to that. And then I went back and found the Wilhelm message on that date, and it just said, wait. Meaning the world wasn't ending. What we're doing is building a new one. And this information would be the thing that could help so many people and the world accomplish that goal. These are concepts that were challenging for me to accept and for others to understand. But they explained that we always move through generational changes in our world, and society changes because of that. And then new things are developed and new skills are revealed as well. So many people are discovering new things that they never knew. I never knew that I could receive information this way that was connected and so aligned and would turn into a complete curriculum for human consciousness evolution, basically. That's really what it is. So I wanted everyone to understand this and why, and the potential, and to see what it can do. And we can change our lives, and we can change our world. That is something that I received. That information was told to me a couple of years ago. I had difficulty accepting it, but then the proof of it was being shown all the time. So that's what this is about. But you'll understand it for yourself, and you can look at that other message from last year and you'll see what was laid out there. I'll put that in there. And if you are interested in the work itself or being an investor, you can have that document because it's on the site as well. Thank you so much for being here, and I will speak to you soon.